everyone, my name is Darcy and I'm going to hopefully be starting a new YouTube channel. I just want to create a space where I can just fangirl about all the stuff I love, which is mostly anime, manga, regular books, everything. I just want, fandoms open, video games, stuff like that. And so I've kind of had the idea for a while, and then a lot of my friends were kind of like, oh my god, do it. So here we go. I think the easiest way for you to get to know me would be for me to start showing you my collection and stuff. And so here we go. I think I'm going to start with my manga collection. We'll see how that goes, and then I can move on to other stuff. So I hope you enjoy. Okay, so we're going to start with this shelf. So this is kind of my, ignore my cosplay mess over here. This is kind of just my random shelf that's I have 3 shelves. So I have of manga anyway, and I have this shelf, which is kind of just the miscellaneous shelf. I have a finished series shelf, and then over on the other side I have a favorite series shelf. So let's start with the miscellaneous. And so here's all my collection of keychains and stuff that need to go into Ita bags. But I have accomplishments of the Duke's daughter, which I'm not sure if I'm going to continue it. It's kind of boring. If you really want to know about taxes, go for it. It's really, really good. But the romance is starting to pick up on it a little bit. It's a otome game, isekai, and I just wish there was more romance in it for it being an otome game. Dream and Sun. I just started this series. A friend of mine on Instagram sent me the first volume, and I'm actually kind of enjoying it. So I picked up volume 2, and so there's that. And then we have, sorry, the lighting in my apartment's terrible. We have Drifters, which is one of my favorite series. It has a super, super slow release because it's a Dark Horse, and I think the mangaka is just super slow as well. But it follows historical figures, and I'm super big into history, and so it's one of my favorite series to read. I'm not caught up on it yet because the volumes are expensive, but I'm working on it. And then we have Fire Force. I just picked up this series not that long ago. I started watching the anime and immediately knew I had to pick up the manga for it. And so yeah, I have all the volumes currently out of that, and I love it. It's one of my favorite series. It has such a interesting concept to it, and I can't wait for more. And then we have Given. I just picked this up. I don't have very much BL, but this was the second one I picked up. You'll see the other one later. And I watched the anime for this and absolutely loved it. I really love music inspired stuff, and so the fact that it's about a band and it's a really beautiful story, so you should check it out. And then we have Grenadiers, which is it's a really, really slow series. I actually need to check and make sure that it's still going, because it's been a really, really long time since the last volume, but it's really interesting and fantasy shonen type thing, and I'm really enjoying it, so I'm hoping it's going to continue. And then we have the start of Hatsuharu right there. So I'll drop down to the next shelf, which is the continuation of Hatsuharu, which I'm current on. It's a really cute shoujo series, and I really, really enjoy it. It's not my favorite. It's never really a huge priority when I'm buying them, but it's still really cute and definitely worth the read. And then we have Inspector, which I started picking this up a long time ago, when they first released it, and it's only just now it has an anime, and that's seemingly doing pretty well, and so I think it's gonna keep going. It's based off of an actual novel, and then after they reach the end of the novel, they've just been continuing the story, and it's actually still been really good despite that. So And then this is my current to be read pile for manga. Most of these I've already read, so I've already read D. Gray Man and Snow White with the Red Hair, but I need to reread them since I just bought them. And then Noragami, I need to reread the one before it because it's been so long that I don't remember. And then Dream and Sun, I've managed to pick up volume 2. And then Shortcake Cake, I decided to give it one more volume chance. We'll see. I was very mad at it last time, so we'll see what happens with it. So the next section, we have some pretty shells that I've collected, and I got this Shield Hero postcard that they sent out like to promote the anime and stuff. It has like the English voice actors signatures and stuff on it. So then we have Mermaid Boys, which I really love this series. It's so good. Like, it's Little Mermaid, but like with a male protagonist, and it's so good. But the magazine that it was in shut down, and there hasn't been a new volume in like 2 years, and I can't find any information on it, so who freaking knows what's going on with it. Hopefully one day we'll get more. And then we have Monthly Girls Nozaki-kun, which is another one of my favorites. It's kind of on a slow release now because it's all caught up with Japan, but I definitely look forward. It's a good laugh, so I look forward to it coming out. And then I've got the first of the Persona 5 manga, and it actually seems like it's a really good like telling of the game, and so I'm really hoping that they'll do the entire story with it. And then I have the first 3 volumes, the only 3 volumes of QQ Sweeper, which is the series that precedes Queen's Quality, which is down here. So Queen's Quality 1 through 8, another slow release because it's caught up with Japan. So those are all right there. And then this is my light novel to be read pile. It's actually 4 through 6, but number 4 is over on my nightstand since it's currently being read. And then we have Radiant. So this is a really good series. This is not the volume I meant to take out. I wanted this one. This is a really good series if you like magic and stuff. It has a really interesting world build. Sometimes it gets kind of slow, but I really love it. I obviously haven't stopped buying it, so obviously I really enjoy it, and I recommend it to anybody who likes like fairy tale or I don't know, other magic manga. I'm totally blanking on them right now. There's my daughter when she was super little. Over here we have The Royal Tutor. This is another insanely good series that I feel is very underappreciated. I don't see very many people buying it, and I don't see very many people having it in their collections. And it was a digital first that Yen Press brought into print, and I've been collecting it ever since it got brought into print. So I'm missing the most recent volume because my bookstore stopped carrying them, so I have to order them, and that's just more hassle than it's worth sometimes. So I just wait for a sale and then I'll order it. And then we have Seraph of the End. So I have 1 through 18. So I'm completely current on that. Also one of my favorite series. It's not on my favorite shelf. I recently just moved it just because I needed more space, but it is definitely one of my favorites. And it's got such a cool story to it, and it really takes like the vampire trope and like turns it on its head a little bit, and it's really good. And then we have another underappreciated series, Servamp. I hardly ever see anybody with this one either, and it's seriously so good. Like, it has such a deep storyline. Like, when you read the back of the first one, it sounds kind of ridiculous, but then you start reading it and it's so deep and just like a beautiful story, and I just really love it. And I have, like, that's my man right there on volume 10. He's wonderful. It's another slow release. We get about 1 a year because it's caught up to Japan. So And then I have Takane and Hana, which is like a super cute, like comedy shoujo. And it's honestly like one of my favorites. Like, it's so funny and cute, and I honestly just love Takane. Like, he is like my dream man. I've always wanted to be with like a like smart dressed like business guy. So yeah, he's kind of swoon worthy, and so I really love him, and it's just a cute dynamic. Like, it has an age gap, so I understand if it's not for everybody, but I really enjoy it. And then I have Yona of the Dawn, and I'm actually current on that entire series. Before it was licensed, I was reading scans of it because couldn't find it anywhere because it obviously wasn't in English. And so, but I stopped reading the scans when it got licensed, and so it's been taking me forever to get caught up, but now it's caught up to the scans, and so I like the scans that I had read, and yeah, I'm excited to keep going because I don't know what's going to happen from now forward, and yeah, so I'm really glad that it's finally catching up, and I reread the entire thing since, and it's just such a good story. I always kind of forget how much I love it. Like, I'm always just like, oh, another volume of Yona, like I'll just read it, and then I'm like reading it and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so good. Like, it's a weird series. Like, I just kind of forget how much I like it. And then I have Kiss Me at the Stroke of Midnight. I only have volume 1. I liked it, but I haven't like had extra money to pick up any more volumes, and it wasn't like one of those ones where I was just like, oh my gosh, I love this, like right away. So yeah, hopefully I'll get more volumes soon. Sorry, May, I will try to get more volumes soon. I know you love it, and I want to love it too, so someday. And then I have Watakoi, Love is Hard for Otaku, and let me tell you, it really is. But anyway, that's a super cute series, super slow release from Kodansha because they decided to do it in omnibus, and so and it's caught up to Japan, so we have to wait for 2 volumes to come out in Japan before we get a new volume. But I always look forward to it. It's seriously relatable if you're any kind of nerd, and it's just a great series. So then I have light novels now. The Devil is a Part-Timer. I'm completely current on this one, so sorry for the shadows. This is another one of my favorite series. It was like probably the second anime that I watched, and I love it. The characters are so great. Like, they're so great and so like well-rounded, and they all like, it's just such a great series, and I've really enjoyed the light novels. I think the anime goes up to like volume 5, and so all of this is just not even included in the anime, and it's all just seriously so good. And there's even like some romance, like actual romance stuff starting to pick up in actual volume 15, and so I'm pretty curious to see where that's gonna go. And then we have light novels for Seraph of the End. So Seraph of the End, Guren Ichinose, Catastrophe at 16. So I have all of those. I have yet to be able to pick up the light novels for Resurrected at 19, which is the sequel light novel series for Guren. He is one of my favorite characters, so I'll obviously be picking it up at some point. I just haven't really gotten that far yet. So that's my entire miscellaneous shelf. So I love all these series, but they're just not my favorites, you know, not my complete favorites. I have a whole separate shelf for that. It's kind of a weird organization like thing, but I live in like a tiny little apartment, so I kind of have to do what I gotta do. So let's move on to the next shelf. So this is my completed series shelf, and this is where I put all the series when they are finished, all the volumes are out. Yeah, so on the top shelf you can see that I got a little bit of a fruits basket shrine going on here. So I have all the collector's editions of Fruits Basket from Yen Press, and then I got these, they were the limited edition DVDs for the new anime from Funimation. And then I got Fruits Basket, another 1 through 3, which honestly, it was not enough. Like, it was supposed to be just like a promotional series, I feel like, or like for the anniversary or something. And it wasn't enough. Like, it ended on such a weird like cliffhanger that I'm hoping that they will continue it at some point, because it was such a weird, like, it was just weird. I don't know how to describe it. Like, it wasn't, it was like tied up, but not tied up at the same time. And it was weird. So then we have Wake Up Sleeping Beauty, which if anybody talks to me, I will tell them that this is probably one of my favorite shoujo series ever. It's such a beautiful story. It's only 6 volumes, but it's seriously such a beautiful story. And it just like, it shines a little bit of a light on mental health. And I can't really describe how much. It has a little bit of everything in it that I love. And I can't recommend the series enough. Like, I hope everybody that reads it loves it, because I just seriously have no words. Like, it's one of my favorite series ever. So, and then I have my other boy love that I was talking about. It's called 7 Days, and it's actually the first one that I've ever bought for myself. It was a recommendation from my friend May, and I'm seriously so glad I read it. Like, it gave me all the feels, and it just made me so happy to read it. And I never read anything that like really made me feel like so happy. Like, it was such a cute story. It's just a one-shot. I think technically it's an omnibus of 2 volumes, but it's just this one volume if you're buying it from Sublime. But definitely recommend, like 100 out of 10. Like, it's so freaking good. So on the next shelf, I have a couple. There's my giant Eevee bank, and some pop figures for Seraph of the End with you and Mika together, of course. A picture of me and my best friend. And so I have Behind the Scenes, which is the series has ended. I don't have all the volumes, but I just threw it over here because I'm not really sure if I'm gonna continue it. And if I do continue it, it is gonna be on this shelf. It's gonna end up here. So just threw it there. And then we have The Bride and the Exorcist Knight, which was a cute little short series from 7 Seas. And I really actually enjoyed it. The age gap is kind of weird, so I kind of had to ignore it, but I really ended up enjoying the series a lot. And then we have Dawn of the Arcana, which I was finally able to track down all the volumes. It was kind of difficult. I like randomly decided I wanted to read it one day and was just like, okay. It was kind of well, not kind of, but it was a recommendation from my best friend. Like, she was like, oh my gosh, you're gonna love it. And I'd read I was reading a different series by the same author, and so I was like, yeah, I'll give it a try. And then had to track down all 13 volumes because it's like, it's not actually out of print, but it's like low-key is. And then we have The Demon Prince of Momochi House. I just moved this over here. Where's my favorite volume? I moved this over here kind of preemptively. It's not quite over yet. The last volume comes out in October. But I love this series. It's so beautiful. Like, Aya Shioto, like, has the most beautiful art. Like, you'll actually see, I have a couple more of her series. And this is her best one. I really love Aoi, and he is just such a great main character, and it's such a beautiful story. Plus it has like all this like yokai and stuff like that, which I really, really love and find super, super interesting. So that's a great series as well. And then down here, I have pop figures for Fairy Tail. So there's all those. And then we have Devils and Realist, also not complete. I think I'm missing the last three volumes. It's 2 or 3 volumes. I'll finish it eventually. It was a really good series, but not like my favorite, so I've just been kind of holding off on getting those volumes, waiting for a sale or something. If you're really into like demonology and stuff like that, and like King Solomon, like stuff like that. It's actually really, really interesting to read because it has a ton of like folklore and stuff in it. Then we have Fairy Tail, super, super incomplete. Fairy Tail was honestly the anime that got me into anime and manga, and I watched all of the series and then was like caught up, and I was like, what's gonna happen? And then went down to my local bookstore and they had volume 44. And so I just kind of kept up with the manga from where I left off in the animes. So there's those. I don't really have any plans to like overly complete the collection. Like I'll probably just keep these ones. Yeah, I didn't like the ending and I found it super disappointing, and I just kind of lost interest in it. We'll see if maybe I'll rekindle it at some point. I don't know. And then we have Ghost Diary over here, which is a small little series from Seven Seas, but it was super, super good, especially if you like yokai and like urban legends and stuff like that. It has a lot of that kind of stuff in the story, and it's super good. Like, it was one of my favorites. I kind of was disappointed that it was only 3 volumes. So let's move down. Oh, there's a rock that my daughter painted. So I've got some My Hero Academia pop figures, so just a few of them. And then we have He's My Only Vampire, which is another series by Aya Shiwoto, which is the same as Demon Prince of Momochi House. And it was really good. I guess it's a bunch of the volumes are out of print now, but if you're able to find it, I definitely recommend it. Like, it was a cool story, and I'm glad that I bought it. Next we have Kami-sama Kiss, which is another one of my favorites. This was another one where I started out watching the anime and then, sorry, Eraserhead, and then moved on to the manga. And this was one of those ones where I was like, oh my gosh, I need to buy every single volume right now. And yeah, here we are. I have all 25 volumes. I have the collector's edition art book that came, like it's like a fan book kind of, and I'm really glad that I got that. So one of my favorite series. I think I'm definitely due for like a reread soon. All right, I'll have to excuse my light down here. There's a table in the way, but we have Kenka Bansho Otome, which is super, super cute series. It's based off of like a video game, but both the anime and the manga both cut off at really weird times, and so I was really hoping it'd be longer than 2 volumes, but obviously I was not that lucky. Kiss of the Rose Princess is another Aya Shiwoto, and it's super, super cute. It has a definite, like, I mean, if you like, look at him. He's super pretty, right? So if you like pretty looking boys, like, her series are the ones to get, man. But this one was probably my least favorite out of the 3 that I have. It just kind of ended kind of weird, and it had more of like a harem ending than like an actual like romance in it. But still worth the read if you ask me. So then we have Love in Focus. So I'm not really sure why I even picked this up. Like, it was an okay little series, I guess, but that Wolf Boy Is Mine was not my favorite. I borrowed it from a friend, and I didn't really like it. And this one kind of ended kind of the same way, even though I didn't like the, like, I don't know. I didn't really like either of the boys, and it was just kind of meh because it was super short. Here was another cute little series, Otome Mania. So it's about a girl who gets a job making Otome games. Only 2 volumes, but it's super, super cute, and I definitely recommend it, especially if you like Otome games and like that kind of stuff. So, and then I have volumes 1 through 6 of Pandora Hearts. Probably won't ever get to complete it since a lot of them are out of print, and I was hoping to save up for the box set, but now it's out of print, so it's sad days all around. I have the Anime Expo exclusive edition of Ouran High School Host Club Volume 1. Absolutely had to have this. Like, I love Oron, and it's such a cool thing. There's not very often you find manga that has like limited edition covers and stuff like that. So had to have it. And then we have Rust Blaster, which is by the same author as Black Butler, and it's just a one-shot, but I had to have it. Like, I love Black Butler, so I had to. And it's actually a really cute little story. It's all wrapped up. Like, I actually really liked it. It's about vampires or something. It's been a while since I read it, but yeah, vampires, and it's pretty cool. So check it out if you haven't, especially if you like Black Butler. And then we have just volume 4 of The Seven Princes of the Thousand-Year Labyrinth. It was only a 4-volume series. I had borrowed it all from my best friend and was too impatient to wait for her to finish with volume 4 so that I could finish it. Then another short little series, SP Baby. It was an okay little series. It was all right. And then The Water Dragon's Bride. Yeah. The Water Dragon's Bride, which I really enjoyed. I found it really pretty. It's kind of one of those, like, stay tuned for suffering kind of series. Like, all the girl really does is suffer through the whole thing, and then it all kind of wraps up at the end and everything's okay. But I really liked the ending. I thought it was cute. But yeah, so that concludes my like finished series shelf. So let's move on. Okay, so this is my last shelf. This is my favorites shelf is what I call it. As you can see up there, I have all my video games and stuff. Maybe I'll go through that all at some point. But this is the shelf that I keep all my absolute favorite manga on. And yeah, I've just always kind of kept a shelf like that where it's, you know, just my favorite stuff, like, and it's right by like where I sit and read. And so I just like to have all my favorites like right by me. So up on the top shelf, we have Aoharu X Machine Gun, which is and has been one of my favorite series for a very, very long time. Aoharu X Machine Gun. Watched the anime for it and became obsessed, and so I've been buying the volumes ever since. Always keep current on it. Like, it's one of my absolute favorites. It's about airsoft, which is not like immediately obvious. Anyway, Aoharu X Machine Gun is one of my favorites, and definitely buy it if you can. I'm always like trying to get my friends to buy it, so I'm sure I'm quite annoying. And then we have one of my absolute favorite series, which is Black Butler. Like, I have the pop figures for it right here. And this is just one of my absolute favorite series. It was kind of like I started watching, excuse me, noisy cats, oh my gosh. Like, I started watching anime with Fairy Tail, but this is like the anime that really like had me go into downhill spiral. Like, it was my absolute favorite, and I just love Black Butler so much. Like, if you're not into Black Butler, what are you doing with your life? That's all I have to say. And then down here, I'll go over these really quick. We have like a little acrylic stand of Felix from Fire Emblem Three Houses that my best friend got me for Christmas. And then another present from my best friend, which is Moriyasu, the spear hero from The Rising of the Shield Hero, because I have like a dumbass crush on him. It's fine. And then we have the Nendoroid of Naofumi from Shield Hero as well. And I have him set up like this so it looks like he's fighting Moriyasu. But then I have a little tiny figurine of Lena Lee from D. Gray Man because she's my favorite. And so back to the series. This is another one of my absolute favorite series, Bungo Stray Dogs. And it's finally going past the anime. Like, we got it past the anime, and then season 3 started, and now it's finally going back past it. And it's just one of my favorites. Like, it's such a cool storyline. It's such a cool, like, world build and everything. Like, and I just love all the characters so much. And so it's definitely one of my favorites, and I will always recommend it. So this is Bungo Stray Dogs, Another Story. It's like a side story for it, and it focuses on a different detective and everything. It's just here because it matches. Like, I haven't really decided how much I like it yet, but it just goes there. And then we have the case study of Vanitas, or Vanitas. I'm not really sure how it's pronounced. I call him Vanitas. I really don't care. But another one of my favorites. It's set in like 19th century Paris with vampires and stuff, and it's just so pretty. It's by the creator of Pandora Hearts as well. And I'm actually going to be working on a cosplay of Vanitas at some point, if I get my butt in gear. But definitely recommend that to anybody, especially if you like vampires, like 19th century stuff. Like, it's such a good series. Like, go read it. And then we have D. Gray Man. I wish that I had all the single volumes for it, but I was a newbie when I bought these, and so I bought the 3-in-1s, and you know, they get the job done. I was able to read them and love them, and then I'm just adding the singles, and eventually I'll probably I mean, it's like one of my favorite series, so I really wouldn't mind buying it again if I, you know, hit a slump where I'm not really, you know, buying much new release manga and stuff. I would definitely try to track down all the single volumes, just because I'm such a huge fan of D. Gray Man. Go read it. It's so underrated. Seriously. And then we have Daytime Shooting Star, which is a new favorite of mine. They just started releasing it. Shoujo Beat just started releasing it a few months ago. There's 5 volumes out now, so and it's bi-monthly. So I've just been collecting that. My friend May's favorite series, and I was just about ready to go read scans of it when they announced the license, and so I just held off until they started releasing it. I've just been reading it as it comes out. And then we have Love Me, Love Me Not. This is one of my absolute favorite series. It's another one that I read all the scans out of it long before it ever got licensed, and because it only just got licensed last year. It's by the same as the creator of Aoharu Ride, which is not my favorite. I haven't even read the whole thing, but this one is just so great. Like, I cannot amp it up enough. Like, if you want to read a cute shoujo story, this is the one. Coming out bi-monthly from Shoujo Beat right now. And then we have Noragami Stray God, which is another one of my favorites. Obviously, this is the favorite shelf. This is actually the Loot Crate limited edition cover. Oh, I should have showed my, I have a limited edition Bungo Stray Dogs. That's why I have 2 volume ones. But Noragami is such a good one. It's another one of the, like, I watched the anime when I was first getting into anime, and then I like immediately wanted to go out and read the manga. And I was actually borrowing it from my best friend for the longest time, and then I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna start buying it because I know I want it in my collection. So, and then we have Snow White with the Red Hair. This was the first anime that I watched like weekly. So I watched the entire thing. Like, every week I would come in and watch the new episode. So it's so good, and we asked and asked and asked for the manga for so long, and we thought we were never going to get it, and then we finally got it in English, and so I'm definitely collecting that as best I can as the releases come out, and I'm just so happy we finally got it. One of the best shoujo series out there. And then this one is my new obsession. I'm actually thinking about getting rid of this shelf that I'm currently on and making it like a shrine shelf to this series, because I have fallen in love with it. It's a Toilet Bound Hanako-kun, and it's just, God, it has everything I love in it. Like, it has yokai ghosts, like, and it has like school, like a high school story. It's like a little bit of a romance. It's kind of like a rom-com type deal, and I just love it. The characters are all so beautiful. The art style is so unique, and I'm just so excited for more of this. I'm so glad that Yen Press put it into print so that I could finally check it out. There's an anime running for it right now as well, and I highly, 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 highly recommend it. Okay, now I talked about Wake Up Sleeping Beauty earlier. This isn't by the same person, but this is my other favorite shoujo manga. So, this is just one of those like feel-good stories where like you read the volume and you're just like, oh my gosh, I feel so happy inside. And it has like the worst love triangle ever, but in the best way possible, if that makes sense. Like, I love them both. I obviously had a preference for the character, but if it was me trying to choose between them, I wouldn't have been able to do it. So this is one of them. And then let me see, and then this is the other guy. And like, how could you choose between them? Anyway, moving on. I also have a little Yurio from Yuri on Ice, Nendoroid down here hanging out. And then, sorry, it's kind of dark. I don't know why. We've got Carnival, which is, I just have started collecting it. Another recommendation from my friend May. And yeah, I'm really excited. I watched the anime a long time ago and wanted to get into the series, but at the time I was like practically destitute. And the $20 omnibus volumes, I was not feeling it. So yeah, but I'm hopefully I'll be able to pick up more volumes of it now. I just picked this up a few days ago. It's called Night of the Ice, and it's an actual print release from Kodansha. Say what? But anyway, it's a josei, and it's about a male figure skater, and it's a cute little love story so far. And I wasn't sure what to expect from this series. Like, I was kind of on the fence. I wasn't sure if I was going to love it. I wasn't sure if I was going to hate it. And the verdict is in that I absolutely love it. I cannot wait for more volumes of this. Another excellent series from Yen Press. Can you tell that I'm kind of an Yen Press stan? Like, I love Yen Press. I'm always buying their stuff. So we have Plunderer. This is volume 2, which has my man, Jail, on it. And it's such a good series. It does have a lot of, like, fan servicey stuff in it, but don't let that, like, I'm not a fan of it either, but don't let that distract you from the amazing story that's being told here. And I just think that it has an anime going on as well, and they just kind of amp up that, like, sexual, like, crap, and I just don't like it. But you know, the story's still there, and it's an excellent story, so check it out if you want to. And then another favorite, Witch Hat Atelier. Don't know if I'm pronouncing that right at all, but such a beautiful story. I was really on the fence about it, and then May again had me check it out, and I instantly fell in love with it. It's such a cute little story, and it's so intriguing, and each volume just kind of leaves you on the edge of your seat, and it's just so great. And so definitely check it out. I'm hoping that it'll eventually get an anime. It really deserves one. And then we have the light novels for Bungo Stray Dogs. So this is the Designs Entrance Exam. My absolute favorite one is Osamu Dazai and the Dark Era, and there's Otasaku. He's my man. I love him. I'm so glad that Yen Press started releasing the light novels for Bungo Stray Dogs. Hopefully they'll keep it up and we can get current with Japan sometime soon, because there's a whole bunch out there that aren't out here. And then I have Goblin Slayer. So and I wouldn't necessarily say this is my favorite series, but these are the light novels, by the way, not the manga. But it's such a cool series. Like, it's literally like reading D&D. campaign, and so I really, really enjoy it. And it does get kind of graphic and brutal sometimes, but for the most part, it's literally like, we're going shopping with Goblin Slayer today, and like, it's just so random. But and then we have ReZero EX Volume 2. These are probably the only ReZero light novels I will buy. They focus on Wilhelm van Astria and his wife, and how they met and how they fell in love and everything. And their story touched me so much when I watched the anime for ReZero, and I just had to buy the light novels that tell the story. And then we have Rising of the Shield Hero, volumes 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So 4 is currently being read at the moment, and then I've read 1 through 3, and then I have 5 and 6 over on the other shelf, like you saw. And it's another amazing series. I absolutely love it. It's from One Piece Books, which I don't really see very much from them. Like, I don't really know much about the company, but I'm super, super glad that they have licensed the series and that they're releasing it. And then we have a Mimikyu plushie, because he's my favorite Pokemon. And then it's real dark down here, but I have the Ouran High School Host Club box set. I bought that last year, and I'm really glad I did. I really wanted to see the entire story of Ouran to the end, and so I finally got that. And then I have my Gatomon plushie, because she's my favorite Digimon forever. And so, yeah, that's my collection, guys. Hey, I hope you enjoyed looking at my collection. That's just my manga and light novels, and hopefully someday I'll do like my figure collection and stuff like that. And I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see how this goes.